Hi, in the US alone, every year, 2 million people graduate from college with a BS degree. And the statistic is that 52% of them go underemployed after college. In this episode of Cover's Cast, we are going to provide you with a roadmap on how to prepare, not only not to be one of those 52%, but also to get some of the best jobs available out of college. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Hi, welcome to Cover's Cast, and today we are going to talk about how to manage a transition between being a student and being a professional and get that first job after college. My name is Marcio. I was a senior director at Google about a year ago, and my team managed some of the internship programs, and we would hire people out of school, and depending on the level they are hired, they would make between two and $300,000 a year. Which is very high, is about double of what normally people make here in Silicon Valley. Of course, it's higher than what people make in other places as well, but it gives you an idea of what is possible, right, as you get your first job out of college. And the question is, how do you manage that transition so that you get one of the best jobs available for college graduates? And the other side of the coin is that in the US, about 3 million people get a degree every year, and more than half of them go unemployed, meaning that they spend 4 years of their life, a lot of money in tuition, and they get pretty much a worthless degree, and they go to work jobs that you don't really need a college degree to do. So what I'm gonna do today in this episode is give you a roadmap on how you can, from the beginning of your college phase, manage your education, manage your experience so that you're prepared to take one of those best jobs in the market. And the problem is that if you go back 30 years when I graduated from college, having a diploma from a prestigious institution pretty much guaranteed you would get a job, you would get competing jobs from multiple companies, and you would pick which one you wanted, right? The situation today is very different. There is a lot of people coming out of college, more than what the market can bear. And that's the reason why more than half of graduates don't find a job. The educational system is slow to evolve, and a lot of the things you're learning in school are operational skills that are more designed for jobs in the past. They sometimes don't prepare you for the jobs of the future. So you cannot just go through the motions of going to class and getting a degree. You need to work in addition to completing your school degree. You need to work harder, right, to be prepared for the best jobs. And it is an investment that pays off, and it is what's going to define the next 30, 40 years of your life your professional career. So you should put a lot of effort in it if you think that's important, right? So I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do is give you three basic approaches for you to be prepared for that. Number one is curate your education. As I said, the school system takes longer to adapt, and as the job market and society changes very fast because of the adoption of technology, the classes just don't catch up, right? So you as an individual cannot do much about it, but you can curate your own education. So when you go to college, you are no longer trying to make your parents or your teachers happy. You are really investing in yourself, and you need to take charge of your education, right? So curate your education by selecting major, minor, selecting schools, selecting the classes that you take in a way that makes sense. Today, in the college system, in the university system, including the prestigious universities, there are a lot of classes that are teaching very tactical skills, and you should stay away from those, right? Don't pick a class just because it's easy or because someone says it's useful today. If you're going to the university, you are trying to get higher education, you should be learning things that are difficult to learn somewhere else, right? Giving some examples, if you're in computer science, learning to program a programming language, yes, it is not easy necessarily, but it's not something you're gonna learn in a classroom with a teacher, a professor lecturing to you, right? Learning Python, learning a programming language, something you learn on YouTube, you learn in a boot camp. You don't need to go to college to learn those languages. If you're in marketing and you take a class that is about running advertising campaigns on Facebook, right? That's a waste of time. Uh, the platforms are going to change, the methods are going to change. You need to learn about marketing campaigns, about marketing, not about how to run marketing campaigns in Facebook using this or that tool, right? So curate your education by picking the classes not because they are easy, but because they're going to be useful and they're going to prepare you to be adaptable so that you can acquire the future skills more easily. So stay close to the core. If you're in computer science, focus on the science. If you're in engineering, focus on engineering. If you're in marketing, focus on marketing. Don't take all those classes that are very tactical and are designed to prepare you for the jobs of yesterday. Number two, you need to think like a pro, right? College is the transition between being a teenager, being a student, being a consumer, being a user, to being a professional. So you need to start thinking like a professional from day one, right? I'll give you a concrete example. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to someone who is in freshman year in a marketing major in university, and she was telling me that in the coming summer she's going to take a job as a receptionist in a hair salon, right? And I think that's fine. I think when you are in your freshman year, that's the type of job you're gonna get during summer. And though it's doesn't seem related to marketing, which is her major, I said take full advantage of that experience, right? Working in a hair salon as a receptionist, you're probably not gonna be very busy. You are probably have the opportunity to interact with the owner of the business, and you're gonna be there at the front desk in a business, and you're gonna see customers coming in. You're gonna see how service provided, and you're gonna see customers leaving happy or unhappy. So you have the opportunity to learn a lot if you think like a marketer, right? And what I told her is don't limit yourself to being a receptionist and smiling and directing people from one place to another, right? Think like a marketer. If you see that the business does not have a website or the business does not manage their Yelp page properly, or that the business does not track the customers, right, getting their email address so that you can stay connected, you as a marketer can talk to the business owner and say, hey, I think we can get more customers walking through the door if we take some actions. And don't limit yourself to being a receptionist, right? You're hired as a receptionist, but you can use that opportunity to exercise your marketing skills. And there is no rocket science there, right? It's about collecting emails, managing email lists, and managing social media and review sites. And you should not need college education, right, to do that. But you can exercise if you're thinking like a marketer and not there just accommodated as a receptionist, not learning anything. So think like a marketer. If you are in computer science, don't use a website, right? You have to think, what are the technologies that enable this service being offered online to me, right? If you're in business, think, how can this company make money selling services this way, right? Is there a better business model for the same service to be offered, right? So you need to start thinking like a professional, not as a consumer, not as a user only, but you need to think what's behind the products and services that you use every day. And if you do that, you're gonna have ideas, you're gonna learn things, and you're gonna trigger your interest in learning more about the topics that you decide to dedicate your professional life to. And number three is, if you wanna land a dream job after college, you absolutely need to prepare and do an internship. Because the big challenge college graduates have today is there's too much competition. They look at jobs, and every job requires 3 years of experience, right? Just go to a job website, and you're gonna notice that every job requires experience. And the question is, how do you acquire experience without having been employed in that area? And the answer is, you need to get the experience before you graduate by doing the things I just said, right? Curate your education, think like a professional from day one in college, and then uh, prepare for internship, a serious internship in a company that manages a serious internship program, right? And pretty much every large company does that. Some mid-sized companies do that as well. And normally, right, the internship positions, they are posted in September, October of the previous year, and then the selection process happens during the last quarter of the year for the internship to happen during the next summer, right? So uh, if you're a freshman, probably it's not the time for you to get a real internship. But as you get into junior and senior years, you need to plan in advance, prepare so that you can get internship. So I'm publishing this video around the beginning of May. This is the time for you to start putting together your resume, documenting the experiences you had, right? If you are, you should talk about your summer job in the hair salon where you took some actions and you helped to improve the business. Those are all things that count, right, and qualify you to be a credible candidate to a serious internship. And then typically, again, the application happens in October, November, and then you go through interview, the selection process, and then you qualify to do the internship during summer. And it is absolutely very important for you to do internship if you want to land a good job after you graduate from school. If you just go through the motions, you get your diploma, you're not going to get a job, and you're going to be part of the 52%. So again, the time to work on this is now during summer, so that in September, October, you have a credible and strong application, and you get a chance to intern with some large company. And that's going to be important whether you want to be employee or not. Doing internship, you give the opportunity to work, to make some money, to learn what real work is. And if you do well, if you learn a lot, and if you show you have the potential, most companies will give you a job offer. So when you graduate, you just come back and you have a job, and you're not gonna go through applying on the website for jobs that require 3 years of experience. And that's the way you land a job. If you're in Silicon Valley, you're a product manager, you are a software engineer, that's how you land a $200,000, $300,000 a year job. Or depending on where you are, you land the best jobs available for college graduates. I hope this discussion inspires you to take action. Remember, you need to start thinking like a professional, and you need to start curating your education today. If you are approaching the junior, senior years, you need to prepare and apply for internship before you graduate. So if you want to continue investing in your career, check the content on Careerscast, and see you in the next episode. Bye.